from or what I had accomplished, but my affiliation and association was from this point forward with Him. See, there'll always be the chiefest of Christians that will look at where you came from and try to determine whether or not you can be used by God. But on this Sunday morning, I'm saying to you, and I'm reporting to you, and I'm giving you a word today, that God, when He is commissioning you today to make yourself available, it has nothing to do with your yesterday. It has everything to do with your today and where you're headed into tomorrow, because God's calling and commissioning people right now that will choose to make themselves available. See, it goes something like this. Our past can, at times, if we allow it to, cause us some issues. But the Bible's not calling people that were chiefest of Christians. He's calling people that decided, I'm a chief of sinners. I got issues. I'm all messed up. I don't know how to fix it. See, I don't know about you, but I come up in this thing. So we used to have the philosophy that we'll get it right and then we'll get saved. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know, we'll stop doing the stuff. We'll stop doing the stuff, and then we'll go to church. Then, you know, you ain't never been there, I know, but that used to be my deal, you know. I mean, I grew up in this thing. We'll stop doing, you know, we know this ain't quite there, and then we'll go to church, and we'll get right with God. Well, I'm glad to say to you one Sunday evening that I showed up in a service, and God served warning on me that you can't never get all the stuff straight. You just got to show up and make yourself available. And when you make yourself available, everything else will work out. So what I've come to say to you today is that when you make yourself available, what happens is that sometimes the enemy will present your past to you, and even Christians sometimes will present your past to you and say you can't, or whatever the case may be. Paul said, I'm the chiefest of sinners. I'm not the chiefest of Christians. I'm just presenting myself to a God that knows who I am, knows everything I'm about, and is chosen and is choosing to use me. Wrote 2/3 of the New Testament. Gracious. Somebody in this house has got something bottled up in them. Unfortunately, I must tell you today that not only will your past cause us sometimes obstacles, but the reality of it is today our priorities can sometimes cause us to struggle in areas of availability. Amen? Now, I remember when the Lord called me to preach. See, I got it by calling. I didn't get it by seminary. I got seminary after I got called. But anyway, that's another story. I won't go there. Got called to preach. And immediately the question began to arise, well, what are you going to do? And when you're going to do this? And how are you going to do the other? And so on and so forth. For me, I was thankful I had some wise counsel about my life. I had some men that gave me wise counsel. And I learned to take it slow. About 7 years ago, I left my job of 15 years with a good company, making a fairly okay salary, and went full time. Well, since that 7 years ago, I have understood why it would not have been beneficial for me to do the same thing at 19 years old. I would have died. It would have killed me. I would have been so mad at God because I have learned some things in the past 7 years that even I didn't learn in the first several. So what I'm saying to you today is that you will devote your time to something or someone, and God is calling us today to a renewed vigor of give me your best. And if you'll give me your best, what will I do with it? I'll bless it. See, today men and women and folks all over the world that are doing great things for God are simply people that are saying, God, I want to give you my best. And when I give you my best, you will bless my best. So today I say this to you. as you make yourself available and as the hand of God begins to bless your life, there's going to be times when you still feel like you did on the first day, and you're like, God, don't know if I can do this. But God will help you make yourself available for Him. On this Sunday morning, you're standing with me all over the house. Here's what I want to encourage you of. Your past can't stop you, guys. It cannot stop you. It cannot stop you. It can't. Your priorities at times, you're like, wow. And we always have to realign sometimes. I do. I have to realign. I mean, I get so busy. I get so busy and I have to realign. And I have to say, God, help me to realign. That's okay. Unfortunately, sometimes the third hindrance or the third obstacle sometimes can be people. Sometimes people can. One guy said it this way, the tyranny of the urgent. Right? Everybody needs your time. Everything is urgent. Everything is important right now. Everybody needs your time. And they don't need you tomorrow, they need you right now. Right? You with me? Ain't you glad you're needed? You ever felt like, man, need somebody else for a while? But everybody needs your time. And you know what? That's not just a cliche. That's true. Because there's times in my life I need somebody right now. So I say to you, as you make yourselves available, if you're going to be ready to meet the needs of those that need you right now, you're going to have had to have first made yourselves available to Him. Okay? You will never have what's needed on the inside to meet needs of people that need you right now if you haven't made yourself available to Him first. I know this ain't profound. I know this ain't profound. But this is a word that'll benefit you today. It's benefiting me, I promise you. Man. So check this out. There was a story in the book of Luke that the children learn about, and we still preach about once in a while. A little guy that was a tax collector by the name of Zacchaeus. The Bible records to us that he was a man of small stature.